Donovan, you guys had one of your lowest scoring halves tonight in the first half with only 40 points. What did you think led to this slow start offensively?
They played the game uniquely, right? They blitzed and denied me pretty much the whole first half, and we missed some open shots. Like, we got good looks, but we missed some open shots, and it took us a little bit to adjust. And then once we got adjusted, we figured it out. And that's the biggest thing, is we found a way to continue to just keep doing what we do and made it a game for ourselves. We just didn't close.
Does having a second half like you guys did, and I know you weren't ultimately able to get all the way back, does that feel like a step in the right direction?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing too is the run was made when it was like CP, Zoe, Dean, Ed was out there. And even when Ev came out, I mean, myself and Ev on the floor, like Dre was there. Like, that's the biggest thing, is like those guys stepping up. Quan, like, I'm running out of things to say about him, right? Like, it's just it's progress. It's showing that, hey, it doesn't have to always be, you know, myself or Ev or whoever. It's like, it's as 1 through 15, we are, you know, who we are. And it started with the stops and rebound and push. And, you know, I give them the biggest credit for bringing us back into the game, giving us some type of life. And honestly, it started with Quan, and then everybody else, you know, continued to follow.
Donovan, throughout the season, you guys are coming in ranked 26 in free throws. And
Like attempts?
No, percentage.
I know, I'm just fucking
But you guys have also been in games where it's come down to 8 points, 10 points in the fourth quarter, and there's also been those same games where you've missed 6, 8, 10 free throws. How do you fix that?
That's that mental that I'm talking about, right? I think Ab did a solid job of getting to the line 10 times. You got to make them. I've had nights where I've missed, 4 or 5. I missed 3 in the playoffs last year in a row. Like, right, it's a mental thing, and we gotta. That's a step for us, right? We gotta convert. They're free. They're there. Just put the work and put the time in. I didn't know we were that low, but we gotta. That's on us. It's a mental thing. Going out there, make your free throws, because we're doing a good job of getting there, right? Like, and especially like Dre's 8. I mean, Dre was 8 for 8, but 8 times. Obviously I didn't get there much tonight. But Ev getting there 10 times is huge. It's big time especially for him. Easy points. He's got to convert. And Dean, getting on Dean, get on everybody. You can get on somebody every night. It's not just tonight. Like, everybody, we got to do our part to make our free throws.
Kenny's kind of had the comment that you guys didn't outlast them when it comes to identity and matching their identity. You knew coming in that they were a more confrontational team, you guys free-flowing offense. Is that kind of indicative of how the playoffs look, and you guys having to have your identity and not being reactive? Yes
and no. I mean, I think it's definitely indicative of the fact that we knew coming in that, hey, this was going to be a physical matchup playing through contact. I don't think we did a good job of that in the first half, but we responded. But not every team is like that, but knowing that your opponent is like that we have to do a better job. But on the flip side, sometimes it just takes a little punch in the mouth and you figure it out, and that's the biggest thing. We came in, adjusted, and we did our thing. But I do think there is a lot more physicality in the playoffs, and we've shown that we're there. Now the biggest thing is just like the little things, right? Like, I'm going to call myself out. I had the turnover, and then we're in the zone, and Jabari gets the 3 because I'm not high enough. That's a 5-point swing right there. We lost by 10. Like, there's so many little things that, if you know that the physicality is going to be there, you have to be even sharper mentally with what you do. It's a backdoor, it's a rebound, it's a 50-50 ball. That's the biggest thing that I think hurts when you're playing a team like this.
Don, obviously they're physical, but they're also kind of huge. Thompson's the smallest guy out there. So they have that kind of length combined with the physicality that they bring, especially on the front line. How kind of difficult is it for someone like you who wants to get downhill into the pace?
Yeah, but you got to do it with pace, right? You got to get out, but they weren't missing. They were getting a lot of shots at the rim, getting their own boards, and at the beginning of the game. And then we went on their run. They started missing. We started getting out. But and give them credit, too. Like, every time I was in the action, they blitzed. They stayed home. And we missed open shots, too. Like, it wasn't, you give them credit. But trying to get out in transition, I tried to make it a habit of that. And sometimes I miss a layup and I make a layup. Like, different things. But when they present that challenge, you have to combat that with getting stops in the run, and we weren't able to do that for the full game, I think. So just for myself and for us, understand that, hey, if they want to deny me at half court, and obviously, you could always say when DG and Max are back, is going to be different. Sure, and Sam's not out, like, you know what I mean? But when we're out there, we got to figure it out as a collective, and we did, and we ultimately just didn't do it for long enough.
And just based on someone like Jared does, the referees call a foul on that.
I mean, when a guy, and this is no discredit to Şengün because he's a hell of a player, but when he does the same thing damn near on every post up, right? It's I feel like you kind of should let that go. I kind of look at it like the Wiggins dunk on Luka in the playoffs a few years ago, but at the end of the day, it's the right call. They made the call. You know what I mean? But he's, he dunks on everybody, man. It's impressive. But I do feel like, they're battling in the post. They're letting things go on both ways. I think you can kind of let that go, but it is what it is.
Chris?
Hey, Donovan. Evan said he needed to be better. He was referencing his free throws, but when you have a young player that's kind of going through early season growing pains, what's the message to him?
I'm happy. I mean, to be honest, that's 13 shots. And last time he had 9, and if you count the 10 free throws, that's 23 shots. That's 23 attempts at the rim. I'm happy. Be aggressive, especially in a game where they're basically taking me and denying me from all the way out there. Like, go be aggressive. And it wasn't like it was just jump shots, right? It was dribble after dribble through the chest, layup. I'm not a result. It's not result based. It's process based. This is a step in the right direction. Now the question is, can we do it again? Because not every team's going to guard it that way. So now we got to be better in our 2-man game, right? Or and different things like that. He's got to be better from the free throw line, and he knows that. But like, this is the step in the right direction. This is who Evan is at the bare minimum, right? So I know he's going to be hard on himself, and that's why he's going to be who he is. He's going to be great. But to me, I'm like, this is what you want. Like, hey, let's continue to keep being aggressive, keep being forceful, and I'll take the mistakes of aggression as opposed to the passiveness. And I think he's starting to see that. And it's like I always tell you, it's not linear. You know what I mean? It's the biggest thing is just taking it incrementally.
And you guys fell behind tonight. You fell behind the other night against Milwaukee, Memphis, Miami as well. Are you noticing anything that's leading to these slow starts?
I don't think it's anything to be too worried about. I don't think we're sitting here saying, "Oh man, we got off to slow starts." I think tonight they were unique tonight. I think and then Milwaukee came out. Milwaukee was one where we were like, "All right, come on, let's pick it up." Like Milwaukee's one where I could say that. But tonight they were unique. We missed open looks to start. They converted. We weren't able to. We weren't pushing the break like we wanted to. So those are different things. But I don't think it's something we're sitting here saying, "Man, like we gotta figure out how to start the game off faster or better."
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Ime said that you can tell how he feels about an opponent by how his team defends that guy. What did you think of how they defended you tonight?
I mean, I love Ime, man. He was my coach at Team USA I hate to say many years ago, but like a few years ago. I knew something was coming. I didn't know to what extent, you know what I mean? Just because that's just how he, it's a sign of respect to the point. I mean, obviously they see who I am and the threat that I am. And I think that's the ultimate sign of respect you can get from a coach. So, like I said, it was unique. It's different. Do I think every team has the, personnel and the size to do that? No. But like, to his credit, he found a way to try to manipulate the game. And my biggest thing was like, hey, I had 2 points, I'm fine. Like, it's just keep trying to find a way to build, and it's not always going to, like I tell you, it's not always going to be a 30, but how do you find a way? And then when my time is called, my time is called. And but when you get guarded like that, yeah, it's the ultimate sign of respect for sure.
This is obviously the number one offense in the league, and the 17 points that they scored in the third quarter is the least that they've scored in any quarter of the entire season. What was it that you guys were doing in the third? And how did you kind of get away from that, I guess, in the fourth quarter?
I think we just, or how do I say this? We got better contests. We got deflections. And it was really started with Greg, Zoe, Quan, Dean, and Dre, and Ev. That was like the lineup that really brought us back. And it was just that energy we needed. And then in that fourth, when the game slows down, it's a little different. You still try to get out in transition, but they're holding the ball, they're in the post ups. It's different. But we did a really solid job, and I wouldn't say we got away from it. I just think it's a game of runs. It's different scenarios, and the third quarter is way different than the fourth, especially when they got a guy over there in Kevin Durant, a guy over there in Şengün, and there was little things that we little things that we messed up. And I bring up my mistakes because that's the first thing I think of is like a turnover here, a missed rebound here, or not a stunt to Jabari Smith to give up the three. Like that's the one that sticks in my brain. Like those are the things that hurt, and we didn't have those in the third quarter. We responded the right way. So when we look at the film, we'll figure it out and be better.
When you hit your first three in the fourth quarter, for you, was it kind of just like the mentality of, all right, I got to go now? That one went in. I'm going to take another one. I think you took like maybe three
Four.
or four. Yeah.
No, I knew what time it was. Like, I'm not going to sit here and just have 2 points and 7 shots and not give us a chance, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's my job. And I find a little bit of room, and you don't want to force it. You kind of let the game kind of come. And even when I was out, we made a run, so I'm not coming back in. Like, it's letting the game flow. Like, I don't have to always, go out there and try to be the hero every day, right? Like it's sometimes you got to just find your spots and when to pick them. And that was the moment where I was like, okay, the playing zone, I can pick my spot here. Then you see 2 go in. Now you're getting to the rim. Now we're getting stops. Now we're getting downhill. It builds. And I knew the time was going to come. It's just a matter of when in the game, right? It's not just going out there, start a third quarter and be like, all right, I got to just go. Like let the game come, find a way, and let my teammates continue to elevate, which they did a phenomenal job. And then when it was my time, they try to go. And I think I did a 60% job of what I needed to do. I could have been better, but that's what my job calls for. Thank you.